Traders, we have very important news regarding the crypto market, so pay attention because your profits or losses are going to depend on the information we are going to give you now. We had Ethereum correcting to the level we have marked on the previous video, a correction to around the 4,000 level that we have marked. Now, these two candles reflect the buying. Notice how this one has a wick at the bottom. Both of them have a wick at the bottom. So if this weekly bar in Ethereum closes with this wick at the bottom, it will be very bullish. Now, we go to the daily chart. We can see it's in a little bit of a range, and we're going to use the 20 MA and MA looked by the institutions. Simple MA, we can see the move is no longer overextended. So we are ready for the next move up. Also, notice how in one single candle it recovered everything it has lost in 5 or 6 candles. That's another bullish sign, and it's not by coincidence that this candle has the biggest amount of volume among all these candles, except the one that started the correction. So Ethereum is already at all-time highs, okay? It already reached a little bit all-time highs. Obviously, it needs to penetrate this level convincingly, go up. Now, on the weekly chart, the move is very, very overextended. Had a couple of consolidations, but we can see with this move, we can have a big move with no consolidation. So we can have a more extended move. Looking at the history of Ethereum, look at this move from 500 or around 600 all the way up to $400. Okay, so I'm not worried that much about this overextended move because we do have a few candles of consolidation on the weekly chart, and on the daily chart it doesn't look overextended at all. So we are definitely ready for the next move. We are still not taking profits on our positions. Everybody can handle their position however they please, but I don't want to miss the explosion of price that we're not having for sure, but we may have, like we had on these 2 last week of the bull market that really ended right here. This was just a liquidity swept of the highs before the huge correction. Okay, so I'm not taking the risk, and I'd rather lose the profits I have than miss this last move that we may have in the 4th year, and we are on the 4th year. Now, looking at Bitcoin, we can see it had a correction also. It is consolidating. Obviously, it has a much, much bigger move. Look, this is the previous all-time highs, guys. Okay, had a correction here, and it continued on its way up, 120,000. I'm not saying this is going to be the top. We do have divergence on the RSI, which means the closing of the candles is lower each time, but we gotta be paying very close attention to Ethereum. I mean, to Bitcoin, because remember, usually in the last 4 cycles, when Bitcoin starts moving sideways, Ethereum and the other coins are moving up, we are getting closer to the end of the cycle. That means we are getting closer to the end of the cycle when Bitcoin starts moving sideways, but Ethereum and other altcoins start going higher. So we definitely need to keep an eye on Bitcoin. And on Bitcoin, I am definitely taking some profits. Now, checking Ripple, we had this correction to this level, and as you guys can see, all of the weekly candles have wicks at the bottom, which makes it very bullish. So we have huge buying as soon as it hits this level. So we are definitely ready for another move up in case we're going to have it. That's not for sure. Ripple already has new all-time highs. So don't expect them to continue extremely high, although Ripple is one of the first candidates to be used by banks and other institutions, including the European Central Bank president was talking about Ripple. So it may have another big move, but I am definitely taking some profits with this huge move we bought around these levels. However, This looks very bullish to me, at least for another push all the way to the all-time highs. And with a stop on this level, I'm definitely taking some trades. The daily chart is not overextended at all. It is sideways, including the EMA, the 20-minute EMA, and it's very close to the 20 EMA, even in the weekly chart. So we do have some divergence, but we can definitely at least visit the new all-time highs in case things continue to be bullish in the markets. So this is it for this video, guys. If you want me to analyze any other coins, just let me know in the comments below.